Hi, I'm cooking right now, but I just thought that I would take some time and share a little bit about my story and how I became a health coach. And so please excuse the mess. I did not plan to do this. My face is shiny because it's the end of the day. I'm out of the office and picking up kids and got my kitchen outfit on. So anyway, a little bit about my story is, so when I was about 12, 13 years old, I went to visit some family in Utah, and we went to a vitamin factory, and I loved it, and I started my vitamins, taking my vitamins, and reading my vitamin and mineral book, and learning and researching and understanding as much of the vitamin and mineral and nutrient concept and industry that I could, and how this affects the functioning of the body and the benefits and that sort of thing. And so I went through my way in life, you know, doing some accounting stuff and printing, and I worked at a window company at one point and waitressing and all that fun stuff until I decided to go for my CNA license. So I did my CNA. I worked in the Alzheimer's unit, I worked in a nursing home, I worked at the hospital, I worked on the surgery floor primarily, sometimes in emergency, and I really did enjoy that job. I felt that I was very good at it, but there was something missing for me. So backing up prior to this, my husband and I had started our own pool service and repair company, which now we have had together for 11 years. So I was working on the side and being a mom and being a wife, but I also worked at the hospital, and I had my fair share of things. I had a couple bulged discs at once, and I had some, you know, pretty bad back pain, and went through that sort of thing, and was told, you know, I would need surgery, and there was really no way to suck those bulged discs back in. So I did, with stretching, exercises, core strengthening, I was able to suck my bulged disc back in and stand up straight and tall in the mornings, and not be on any type of anti-inflammatories or medication. So I went through all that, and that was a long time ago. But I'm going about life. I'm working in my pool service office with my husband and doing everything imaginable for that, and growing a company and having a family, dealing with life. And everybody would always say to me, how come you aren't a nutritionist or that sort of career? And I just didn't think that that was exactly what I wanted. I didn't really want to tell people what exactly to eat based off of calories and stuff. And I do admire the registered dietitian's position. However, for me personally, it wasn't my calling and my meaning. So going so many years advance, remind you, this story started about when I was 12, and now you're talking about in my late 20s. An aunt of mine said, why don't you do health coaching? And I didn't know what it was. So I researched it, and remind you, this entire time of my life, Oops, okay. So remind you, and my house usually is not this messy, but I'm part of a study for Viome, so I got that going on there, and I'm partially cooking, so I got that going on there. So anyways, so my aunt asked me why I didn't get into health coaching. And again, the story started at age 12, now I'm in my late 20s. So for my whole life, really though, I was health-minded, even as a young child. So I didn't, you know, have a lot of soda, but I did love, you know, sugar and candy bars and chocolate and sweets. I've had my fair share of that. And, you know, so, you know, we all have, you know, fast food and stuff like that. So I would share with friends and family and loved ones suggestions or experiences that I went through or that my family was dealing with. And I guess I should go back a little bit further before the health coaching. This is actually really important because this is the major portion of my story. So at one point, we were trying to eat healthy and natural. My arm's getting tired. I need one of those little things. So, okay, we'll just try that. So I was trying to eat healthy and natural just like anybody else would, and I was spending a lot of money in the store buying everything that was labeled naturally, which now I've learned has mostly soy products in it. We weren't vegan or vegetarian. We didn't have a reason to eat soy products like soy yogurt other than the fact that there was health claims about it. And luckily now most of the world's kind of picked up on pace, and this is kind of, it revolutionized, it came, and it seems like it's kind of going away, thank God, a little bit. So we were buying all this stuff, and we were getting sick, and we were feeling not clear-minded and sluggish and tired, and at one point I was slurring in speech and felt pains of pancreatitis in my stomach, and sleep problems and sweats and chills and so many mysterious symptoms, and like just delusion, and the whole family was being weighed down. I had it mostly, and at one point I couldn't even take a shower by myself. My husband had to come and stand there and help me because I felt too weak and like I would fall over, and I was eating a ton of food and I was losing weight. My friends thought I had a tapeworm, and it was crazy. So I went to my doctor and I said, I'm losing weight, I'm trying to get pregnant, and I have all these things going on. So he said, you know, usually people in their younger 20s, women in their younger 20s don't typically come to me to ask how to gain weight. So you could see how there was concerns. So I did tell the doctor I was trying to get pregnant, and eventually he told me you know, to go home and research soy, because I was telling him what I was eating, you know, certain cereals and certain food bars and stuff like that. So I did that because little did he know I'm a skilled researcher, and that is my hobby, and that is most of what I dedicate my time to. I don't watch TV. I hardly get to watch movies. I'm always reading, whether it's by research or by nonfiction books. So I started to weed out the soy in our family's food and in our kitchen. And then I became cautious about label reading. And then I became cautious about what the animals were fed. So what the chickens were fed, what the cows were fed, where the milk was coming from. At one point I was driving all over my state, driving all the way to Phoenix, which is about 3.5 hours from me one way, just to get fresh raw milk for our family on a monthly basis, and eggs and chicken eggs and duck eggs, and we would put in portions for cows and pigs to have, like when you can buy a portion of it, so we were getting grass-fed meat, because where we live in a local small town, and we don't have a Whole Foods or a lot of farming. So we started to learn all that. So you're getting like almost 20 years of experience in maybe a 15-minute video, and I had to find all of these resources and foundations. I love Weston A. Price Foundation. I love Azure Foods. Some neat things there. So anyway, then you know, eventually we realized we didn't like having a lot of meat in our diets anyway, because we felt, you know, it causes a lot of inflammation and that sort of thing. So with all these changes, we got better. Our symptoms were going away, and then this was at the time where every time someone was going to the doctor, they were saying, it's mysterious symptoms, we don't know why. Well, mysterious symptoms is a symptom of soy, so that's kind of interesting. And there's a lot of misconception about soy and genetically modified, and do they eat it in Japan and not, and I'm just not going to go into that right now, but I'm just going to let you know most of those misconceptions are wrong. So yeah, we recovered, we felt better, we felt amazing, our memory sharpened, our energy was great, you know, weight was balanced, and on we went, and, you know, healthy pregnancies and healthy babies and healthy breastfeeding, and all that sort of thing. And so going back a long time after that, years and years later, because again, like I was saying, I always shared information with my friends and family and about infertility or about sugar or about health issues or about skin problems or about energy or sleeping or lots of different things. And I loved it, and I really enjoy all those conversations that I've had for those who want to listen. So my aunt, she said, why don't you become a health coach? And I looked it up. That's what I do best. And I immediately started looking at schools. As soon as I looked it up, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is for me. This is my calling. I love it. This is exactly it. I mean, it was made for me. I just really felt that way. And to this day, which is years later, I have the exact same feeling. So that's really, I'm very passionate about it, and that's something, I just love it. So I'm really excited about that. And yes, so I went to school, I completed my schooling, my hours, my certification, opened up my practice, started working with clients, and so here I am. And I have a lot of backing behind me. Since then, I co-host a podcast and with another health coach, a wellness podcast, and I'm a business associate with USANA, and so I just love, again, I've always loved the idea of vitamins. I've always taken them. I've always liked quality products, and so that was a no-brainer for me because, you know, I like to keep all my vitamins with one line if possible, and so just simply swapping to better quality was great for me. So I'm doing things that I love. I still am working in my pool service business office because I really enjoy that, but I'm not full-time anymore. Well, I am full-time, but I'm not doing too much work for one person anymore, thanks to help structure and organization with my husband and our team. So I love health coaching. I love sharing information. I love guiding people on the right track. I'm very understanding to people who say that, you know, they're struggling in areas with their health and wellness and their goals. And I just want to let you know that my arm is getting tired. But I just want to let you know that it's okay, and I understand it, and there's a lot that goes into it. There's our microbiome and our gut, which is our second brain, and there's cravings and there's sugar, and there's a lot of things that I take into consideration, and I help guide my clients to transform. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my story, completely raw and informal, because again, I clearly am not prepared for this, and I hope everyone is doing great. I look forward to meeting you guys and connecting with you. I do have Inspire Wellness for You Facebook. I just am very blessed and thankful, and I wish all of you a very healthy life.